What's up, YouTube land? I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna be going live here tonight. We're gonna talk about guns, ammo. People's favorites. Everybody's got their own opinion, so that's just everybody's got their own opinion. I'm gonna get this Facebook cranked up, and then we're gonna go live here in a few minutes. Um, what's up, everybody? We're gonna talk guns and ammo tonight. Everybody's got their favorite. Get your pen and paper. I got some things I'm gonna go over. Just get your pen and paper. You might want to write some of these places that I got down. So get your pen and paper. And I know I'm a little early. I just want to get on here early because you know how the old interweb is. Sometimes it's hard to get feed here where I'm at anyway. So just want to get on a little bit early. Let me know where you're from, what state, city, town, country, planet, that kind of thing. Don't be afraid to leave a comment, and please do leave a comment. I got a list here, some places you might want to look up if you're interested in ever ordered a gun, and I'm going to give it just a few more minutes and then I'm going to get started. Some of these places I've dealt with before, and some of them I haven't. Some of them I've heard of, some of them I have not heard of. But y'all let me know where you're from, what city, state, town, planet, that kind of thing. Leave a comment. Hopefully we'll have a good show in here tonight. Everybody's got their own favorite, there's nothing wrong with that. If you got your favorite, hey, that's cool, There's just so many guns out there, so many makes, models, calibers, weights, bullets. I mean, it's just, gosh, just a lot of them out there. And like I said, everybody's got their own opinion. Walla Holla. I ain't been to Walla Holla in a long time. Walla Holla. It's in the upstate, ain't it? I think it's in the upstate. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. People can watch this later. You might want to get a pen and paper if you got one handy. Because I got some places here you might want to look up that sell stuff. Some places I used to deal with years ago, back when I had my license. I've been out of the gun business for 20 years or so, and a lot's changed since then. A lot's changed. But before we get started, I guess I've already announced that I'm a member of the Ready Network partner now. So y'all just check out the link in my bio there, readynetwork.com/Doomsday Preppers in South Carolina. They got some good stuff on there. And I've looked on Amazon too, the stuff Amazon's got compared to what we're selling now. And we're right there with Amazon. We're right there with Amazon. That's a good thing if you can compete with Amazon. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. What I got here is some places that you can order a gun from. A lot of people don't know that you can order guns off the internet. Years ago, back when I had my license, we used to be able to sell them on eBay. Of course, eBay cut that out. But here are some places that you can order from. Some of these places I know of. Some of them I don't. Some of them I've ordered from these places. But you can order from some of these places right here, and if you got a local dealer that you know, these places will ship that gun to your dealer. You can pay for it on the internet right there. They'll ship it to your dealer, and most dealers charge 20, 25 bucks to transfer the gun. That's not a bad deal if you can go in there and search and you can find some good used guns, because they out there. You know, there's a lot of used guns out there, and a lot of times you can find good deals on them. You just got to do your homework. You just got to look. So I hope everybody's got a pen and paper, and I'm gonna go through this list here. CDNN Sports. I've had good luck with them people. They're in Texas. CDNN Sports. They got a good selection of stuff on there. They'll run specials and all. Classic Firearms. I bought some stuff from Classic Firearms. They're in North Carolina. They got some older military weapons, but they got new ones too. But I really like Classic Firearms. Matter of fact, they have a drawing like once a week on pistols. So if you enter in the drawing, they just gave away one yesterday. So if you enter in the drawings, you got a chance to, of course, they're going to send you the emails and all that kind of crap. But at least you got a chance to win a free gun. You know, they give one away once and one a week. So, Gunbroker. I bought several guns off Gunbroker. There's a lot of dealers on there. But I picked up a 380 one time for 30 bucks. Matter of fact, I picked up three 380s for 90 bucks. But you got to shop, you know. You just got to get on there and look. Type in a caliber, a brand, or whatever you're looking for, and save it. And you know, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. You bid on it, and if you get it, you get it. But and then they'll ship it to your dealer that you know locally. Arms List. Arms List is locally. There's a lot of dealers on Arms List now. Back years ago, it was a lot of individuals, but there still is some individuals on there. But there's a lot of dealers on there too. So you know, it's just like yeah, they'll ship it to your local dealer that you have locally. So don't forget about Arms List. SOG, Southern Ohio Guns. I used to buy a lot from them years ago. I don't know whether you can buy from them. You may be at the dealer to buy from them, but it's worth checking out. Elliott Brothers. I think Elliott Brothers, I used to buy from them. I think you got to be a dealer to buy from them. You can still go there and check them out. See what they got. RSR. I used to buy from them a long time ago. I think you got to be a dealer to buy from them, but you still may be able to look at some of these people's inventory. You still may be able to see what they got. That way you kind of get a feel what you want. Natchez Shooter Supply. They got a lot. A buddy of mine just reminded me about them last week, 2 weeks ago. They got a lot of scopes, that kind of thing on there. Good deals on scopes. I mean, real good deals on scopes. But they sell firearms and all too. I don't know whether you got to be a dealer or not. Davidson's. I used to buy from them. You may have to be a dealer to buy from Davidson's. Banger USA. They're worth checking out. Hill Country Wholesale. Bud's Gun Shop. Now, I know you can buy from Bud's Gun Shop. I mean, I know you can. Crow's Shooting Supply. Cam4. Hicks. HICKSINC.com. Chattanooga Shooter Supply. Xander's. Of course, we've all heard of Cheaper Than Dirt. Amchar Wholesale. Ron Shooter Supply. I used to buy a lot from Ron Shooter Supply. You may have to be a dealer to buy from them. AIM Surplus. I don't think you have to be a dealer to buy from AIM Surplus. Brownells. Grab a Gun. That's a new one, but I've heard a lot of good things about Grab a Gun. Just grab, GRABAGUN. Impact Guns. I heard that's another good one, fairly new. Primary Arms. Rainer Arms, RAINER Arms. They sell, deal mostly in AR-15s. I heard that was a good place. Rifle Gear and Cabela's. These are just some places on the internet that you can go and shop. I know there's a lot more, a lot I didn't mention, but I just wanted to run this by you. I had a lot of people, ladies especially, that are looking at guns, and a lot of them don't know anything about them. So I just want to see if I can kind of explain a few things before we get into them. Y'all know what a difference between a single action and a double action is, right? A single action is a gun that you gotta. This is a double action here. A single action is a gun that you got to cock. You have to cock it in order for it to shoot. You have to cock it in order for it to shoot. A double action is a gun that you can pull the trigger. A double action, you can do both of them. You can pull the trigger and shoot it. You can cock the hammer and shoot it. And you can also pull the trigger and it'll shoot it. That's the difference between a single action and a double action. A single action, you have to pull the hammer back for it to shoot. But a double action, you can do either. You can pull the hammer back and pull the trigger, or you can pull the trigger and then it'll shoot. That's the difference between a single and a double action. Now, I guess I'm going to start at the bottom. 22. Everybody knows what a 22 is, right? Everybody knows what a 22 is. We got a 22 short. Most people don't even use these anymore. 22 short, 22 long rifle. I don't think you can be able to see the difference because my hands are so big. But you see the difference? 22 long rifle. Mainly that's what people use nowadays, shoot for squirrels and that kind of thing, is a 22 long rifle. Stock up on the 22s. Back in 09, you couldn't buy a box of 22s. You know, 22 is a good little pistol. I mean, a lot of people don't think a 22 can do much damage, but you hit somebody with a 22 3 or 4 times and it hits a bone, you don't know where that bullet's gonna come out at. I done got ahead of myself. I want to explain a bullet to the people who don't know what a bullet is. This part right here is called the casing. Like I said, we got a lot of people that don't know that much about guns, bullets. This is called the casing. This thing right here on the end is called the primer. The firing pin's going to hit that and it's going to ignite it. The gunpowder's on the inside. The gunpowder's on the inside. The striker is going to hit that primer right there. And it's going to cause the bullet right here. Here's the bullet to come out the end. There's your bullet. Casing, primer, powder, and bullet. Pretty simple. Now, I'm going to go back to, I just went over to 22s. If anybody's got any questions or comments, hey, put them on here. Just went over to 22. The next firearm up is a 380. A lot of people don't think a 380 is. Here's a 380. A lot of people don't like the 380. They think it's too small. If you're a woman and you got small hands, there's nothing wrong with the 380. You pop 4 or 5 rounds at somebody, just the noise alone is probably gonna make them move on. I want to compare that to the next bullet up from the 380, which is the 9mm. You can see the difference. You can see the difference. Y'all see the difference? That's the difference between a 380 and a 9mm. Now this is the 9mm Luger, also known as the Parabellum. This is the 9x18. This is 9x18. There is another 9mm, which is called the Makarov. It's a 9x17. So it's going to be a little tad smaller than this 9x18. Like I said, here's a 380. Here's your 9mm. Like I said, there is a smaller 9mm called the Makarov. Also, there is a larger 9mm than your regular standard, the one everybody shoots around here. The one called the 9mm Largo. and you can see the difference in between the Largo and your regular standard 9mm. It's a pretty big difference if you can see it in person. It might not look like it is, but it is. It's a big difference, a big difference. Like I say, you got your 9x17 Makarov, you got your regular standard 9mm Luger or Parabellum, and then you got your 9mm Largo. You don't see the 9mm Largo that much anymore, but it's a bigger bullet, bigger casing. It just so happens that I have a 9mm Largo pistol. Most people are going to think this is a... What do y'all think this is? Most people think this is a 45. You can buy these from Classic Firearms. This pistol right here. You can buy it in the 9mm. I talked about Classic Firearms a while ago. They're out of North Carolina. This is called the Star. This was the service pistol for the Spain armed services. I think in their 80s. But this is the 9mm Largo, and this is a good shooting gun. I don't know where the Classic Arms now has these in the Largo. It's getting hard to find these in the Largo. I know they got these in the regular standard 9, the 9x18. But if you can get one in the Largo, I'd urge you to get the one in the Largo, because it's just a bigger 9. This looks like a 45. Most people think this is a 45, but it's not. It was designed after the Colt 45. It's got wood handles. It's all steel. You can buy one of these guns now for probably... Classic Firearms just had these things on sale for, gosh, $250, $240, $280. I don't know, between $200 or $300. But it's all steel. I like this pistol. I really do. But anyway, that's your 9mm. Anybody got any questions? Ask. Next, we're going to move up to the... What's the next caliber, y'all? 40 caliber. I don't have a 40 caliber. I used to, but you can't have everything. You can't have all guns. I decided to stick with a couple of guns. That way I can have a couple calibers, because I just didn't want to have all these calibers. Having to buy all these calibers. So it makes sense to only have a couple of guns. You know what I mean? The next one is the 40 caliber. After that is the 45. I used to have a 45, but I got rid of it too. It's just too much to have. Next is 10mm. I've never even shot a 10mm. A lot of people like the 10mm. I don't think it ever took off quite like they wanted to. But popularity kind of went down on it, but the popularity has come back too, though. Next is a 38 Special. I used to have some 38 Special bullets. Most people don't realize 38 Special is a big bullet. I mean, the 38 Special is a big bullet, and it's a lot of powder in that thing. That thing can do some damage. Like I said, I used to have some. I don't know what happened to them. Next is 357 Magnum. Why would you want a 357 Magnum? Well, because you can shoot a 38 out of it. 38s are cheaper. So I've never owned a 357. I'd like to get one day. That way I can shoot 357s at zombies, and I can shoot 38s at somebody breaking in the house. But you can shoot both of them out of the 357 Magnum. That used to be a real popular gun, the 357 Magnum, but like I said, I'd like to have me one day. And I'll get one. Next, 44 Special. Never shot one. 45 Long Colt. That's another big bullet. Then your 44 Mag. I've never shot the 44 Mag either. Now I'm gonna move on to rifle 17 HMR. Come up to the last few years, a lot of the ones I'm fixing to read right now, a lot of these are varmints for foxes and coyotes. These are long range. The 17 HMR 22 Hornet, your 22 long rifle. I just showed you the 22 long rifle. 22 WMR. A lot of those are just for long range varmints type, you know. The next is the one that's caused all the controversy, the 223. I never really got into 223s back when I had my license. They were just becoming popular. But here's the bullet that the bullet that causes all the problems. Everybody says the AR bullet, the 223. Also known in the 5.56. It's not a big bullet either, you know. It's not a big bullet at all. The next is 22-250. I've never shot a 22-250. I heard it'll reach on out there though. Of course, this will reach out there too. Next is the 220 Swift. The 220 Swift. I've never shot one. So the next is 243. I've shot a 243 before. 243 will reach out there and touch something too, you know. It'll bring a deer down if you hit it right. Next is 30-30. They said the 30-30s killed more deer than any other caliber. Years ago, this was the only caliber that they had to hunt with, you know, 30-30. We're gonna compare it to the 223. You can see how much bigger it is. A lot more powder, bigger bullet. 30-30, your 223. You see the difference? After the 30-30 is the 300 Savage. I've never shot a 300 Savage. Next is the 25-06. I've never shot a 25-06. Couldn't tell you anything about it. Next is a 270. This is what I hunt with, the 270. That's what I'm hunting with come Friday morning too. 270. We can compare it to a 30-30. Look at the difference. That's a big difference. And then once again, compare it to the AR bullet. You got your AR bullet, your 30-30, and then your 270. And then next is I will, Jocelyn, I will in a minute. This is your 308. Now look at the difference between the 308 and the 270. The casing's fatter though, it's got more powder. The casing's fatter. The bullet's bigger. For the people just starting out, ammo comes in different grains of bullets, size bullets. Like this here's what they call a soft point tip. It's gonna mushroom. When it hits something, it's gonna go in and it's gonna mushroom out. Extra stopping power, you know. You got full metal jacket bullets. And they got so many different kind of bullets out there. But that's the 308. It's just a huge difference between these bullets. And then next you got a 30-06, which is even bigger. I don't have a 30-06. Don't want one. That thing stomps my shoulder. The next is the 7mm Remington mag, the 300 Winchester mag. Them things are just a beast. They'll bring down bears. You know what I mean? 300 Winchester mag. Um, don't want one. You shoot a deer with that thing, and when it comes out the back side, it just blows the meat out and it just tears. Just to me, it just does too much damage. So next is 338 Winchester mag. These are big guns here, for elephants, that kind of thing. 357 H&H, 444 Marlin, and then the last one, you 4570 Government. I used to have a 4570 Government, and I never used it, so I got rid of it. Just got tired of having stuff you didn't use. Here's some places in Columbia for people here locally. Some of these places I've been to. Some of these places I have not. Shooter's Choice. They got your range in there. They sell firearms. And like I said, go back to the beginning of this video. I went down my list of all these places on the internet that you can go and look, and you can find a gun, and you can buy a gun on here, and they will ship it to these dealers here in Columbia, and they'll charge you $20, $25. Now, unless you can find one here that you like. At these places in Columbia, they have guns too. But Shooter's Choice, Palmetto State Armory, of course. They got their range. They got good deals on stuff. It's hard to beat Palmetto State Armory. But you can find deals elsewhere as well. Palmetto Distributor. I used to deal with them years ago. Now I heard them Broad River Road. I heard they was only selling to. It may not be true, but I heard they were only selling to police departments and other dealers. Now I don't know whether that's true or not. I hadn't been there in a while, but I used to find a lot of good deals at Palmetto Distributor. Craig's Firearm Supply. I've only been there once. Of course, you got all your pawn shops. Most pawn shops want a ton, whether most of them want a ton. But you can find. I take that back. There's a couple of them that you can go to. I used to go to them once a week. I'd hit back years ago. I'd hit all the pawn shops, and I really got some good deals. There'd be something wrong with the gun. They said it wouldn't shoot. And then somebody cleaned it, they didn't put it back together right. They put the O-ring backwards or something like that. So I used to pick up guns real cheap back in the day. But some of the pawn shops you can get good deals on. The bigger ones, the one with the yellow sign, what's it called, people? The one with the yellow sign, they got some pretty decent deals. The Gun Vault, that is in, I've never been to the Gun Vault. Of course, you got Sportsman's Warehouse. They have good deals on pistols too, they really, really do. Swamp Fox Armory, Barron's Outfitters, FN Pro Shop. Now, there's a big manufacturing plant here, FN, and this is where they put some of their pistols they sell. They make a lot of guns for the Army, Marines, and they put some of their guns in the shop there, and you can buy some of them right there. It's way out toward Clemson Road. I've never been there. This place here, Defender Shooter. Now I used to go there and shoot on their range, but they've been bought out. So I don't know whether he's still using Defender as the name or not. It's right there in Red Bank, right there by I-20. They're good people, Lawman Safety Supply. I bought some. Matter of fact, that's where I bought this revolver here from, Lawman Safety Supply. This is a 32, by the way. Lexington Gun Shooting Range. That's where I bought. This is what I carry. This is a Taurus PT-111. That's where I bought this from. This might be the gun of you, Jocelyn. I think I paid $220 for it, brand new. And I like it. I like it. Everybody's got their own preference. A lot of people like Colts, Tauruses. Some people like the SIGs. Everybody's got their own choice. But I like this Taurus PT-111. It's just, if you like something, you're going to shoot better with it. So, like I say, some of these places have guns that you can rent, and you can try them out, and that's what you need to do. Joyson, you said you want me to go over automatic weapons. So what go over as? All right. I guess you're talking about a pistol. This is your magazine. First of all, always make sure your gun's unloaded. This thing is unloaded. This is your magazine. Most of them have a button here that you can mash, on it, and release the magazine. It's got a little button right here. It's pretty simple. I mean, I guess hope you can see that it's a red dot. There's your safety. Well, you don't see the red dot now, so I'll let safety on and safety off. You know. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. In order to get one in the chamber, you do have to pull it back. And when it does, it feeds one up in the chamber. But you can pull this back. It's not hard to pull back. And then you'll cut your safety on. Once you get one in it, you'll cut your safety on. Continuous fire. I went over this earlier, Joyce. A single action is a gun that it only fire one way. That's the reason why it's called a single action. It will fire one way. In order for it to fire, you got to pull the hammer back. And then you pull the trigger. That's the only way it'll fire. You can sit here and pull this trigger and it will not fire. You got to pull the hammer back on a single action to make it fire. Double action will do both of them. You can pull the hammer back and pull the trigger into fire, or you can just pull the trigger. That's the double action. The double action, you can do it either way. Now you said continuous fire. It's going to fire until the bullets run out. I mean, I don't know if you go with the revolver. If you're going to go with the revolver, this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll go till you pull the trigger, and these 6 bullets in here are gone. But you got to pull the trigger each time. I mean, you can't. It's not gonna sit there and go bam, 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 bam. With just one pull of the trigger, you got to pull the trigger each time. Is that what you mean? And the same with the semi-automatic. You got to pull the trigger each time. You got to pull the trigger each time. It's not gonna sit there and just empty them out. One pull, one round's gonna come out. You know, most people think that, like the AR rifle, most people think it's a machine gun. You know, the killings these crazy people do at these schools or whatever, they're not automatic weapons. You got to pull the trigger each time to make it go. I mean, you got to pull the trigger. You just got to pull the trigger. Shotguns. 410 is a good home weapon for a female. I don't have a 410 casing. I used to have some. I don't have a 410. I had some shells and I gave them to a buddy of mine. A 410 is a good shotgun to have if you're a lady. It's not going to kick that much, but like I said, it's got a piece of lead in it, probably the size of my finger. You know what I'm saying? So it's a pretty big. It's a pretty big chunk of lead. Next up, you got a 20 gauge. A 20 gauge is going to have more kick than a 410, but there's nothing wrong with the 20 gauge. It's going to look just like this 12 gauge. This is a 12 gauge here. It's going to look just like this 12 gauge, but it just didn't have as much. It's a little bit smaller. But you got your 20 gauge. If you're looking for a 20 gauge, they got some out there now with pistol grips and all that kind of thing, and that's what I would get. You know, that's just what I'd get. You don't need a long gun, something you can't maneuver around if you need to get to it in your home. You don't want a 28-inch gun. You want a smaller gun that you can maneuver. That's where the 410 comes in. They got what they call a snake charmer. It's only one shot, though. That's the bad thing about it. They do have 410s that are automatics, but they're more expensive. It might be best for you just to go with a pistol. But the 410 is an option. The 20 gauge is an option. There's your 12 gauge. Of course, then they got a 28 gauge, and they got a 10 gauge. Most people don't shoot 10 gauges anymore. It's just a big old gun. But like I tell people, stick with calibers that are popular. That way you can get the ammo if you need it. If you go getting an exotic, off-the-wall caliber, you're going to pay for the ammo, if you can even find the ammo. That's like this 9mm Largo. I can't find this in Columbia. I've got to order it. Nobody carries it. But I like the gun, you know. So whatever gun you get, just try to get a, of course you'll get a popular caliber. I mean, you will. Does anybody have any questions? Like I say, I'm no gun expert. I've been out of the gun business for a long time. Things have changed since I've gotten out of it. Back when I messed with it, the ARs, people were just starting to get into them, and I never really got into them. I have one, and it's fun to shoot. They're just fun to shoot, you know. And another gun, Joyce, would consider. This is a 25. 25 caliber. Let me show you the 25 bullet. I think you need something bigger than a 25, though. Let me compare it to a 22. It's bigger than a 22, but it's smaller than a 380. Here's your 25. Here's your 22. You probably can't see the difference. The 22 is a tad longer. Yeah, it takes a big jump up from the 25. I mean, pretty big jump. Nice jump from the 25. Here's your 380. Now here's the difference between a 380 and a 25. It's a big difference. I mean, that is a huge difference. If you can see that, that is a huge difference. I wouldn't go with it. It's just all a matter of preference. It's just a matter of preference. You just need to shoot them. You just need to shoot. That's the only way. You got to shoot. You just got to take your gun to get you. Go buy you one. I mean, go to shooters. Go to these places and just shoot. And but anyway, that's all I got for tonight. Anybody got any questions? Just leave a comment. Like I said, I did go over a list earlier of places that you can look on the internet, and a lot of these places you can buy from. Some of them you can't. Like I said, you can buy one. They'll ship it to a dealer. Any of these dealers in Columbia, I went over the list earlier. They'll ship it to these guys, and they'll charge you $20, $25 to transfer it over. And so you know, once you get your concealed weapons permit, you don't have to go through the background checks and all. You just show them your card. You'd be like a driver's license. You show them your card, and you walk in there anytime you want and buy a gun, and without having to go through the background checks. I think they may have a 3-day waiting period now. They got 3 days to tell you can't have it. People said they don't have checks. We do have checks in the United States. They'll run your database. They'll run it through the FBI, and if you got a history, a record, they won't sell it to you. I mean, they won't. They'll say, no, do not sell it to that guy or that woman. Do not, and they won't sell it to you. So if you got a record, people don't think we have background checks. We do. If you got a record and it comes up, they will not sell you that gun. So You know, the media thinks people to have guns or everything's illegal and all this kind of crap. It's not like that. It's not. All right, guys, I'm gonna end it at that. Anybody got any questions or just leave a message here, leave a comment, and yeah, it is a big difference. I hope I helped you out. Just go to a couple of places and just try out a couple. Tell them you want to shoot some. It may charge you $5, $10. I don't know, but at least you can get a feel for what fits in your hand, you know, and you can get a feel for the pop, you know, the recoil, a little bit of recoil it's gonna have. 22 don't have no recoil. 25 don't have any recoil. You get up to the 380 9mm, it's not that bad though. It's not. And like I say, take some of your friends with you to the range. Y'all go shoot some, pick your one out, and expect to pay. Depends on what you buy. Expect to pay $250 to $350. I wouldn't spend no more money on that on a gun. I wouldn't. You don't need to, you know, unless you're an expert shooter and you got some money you want to throw away. Like I said, I paid $220 for mine. It serves a purpose, you know. Killed an armadillo last weekend, 2 weeks ago with it. All right, with that, I'm going to end it. That's all I got. It's been 41 minutes. Like this video, share this video, make a comment. Check out the Ready Network on my link in my bio. We got some good products for sale. Very good products to sell. Like I said, we can compete with Amazon because I've looked and looked and looked. That's all I got. Does anybody else got anything? If not, I'm gonna go get in the recliner and prop my feet up. Y'all have a good rest of the week, and I hope this was information helped somebody, and you know, I just hope it helps you a little bit. You know, just be careful. Your gun's always loaded, so always make sure that it's not loaded. Never point a gun at anybody. I mean, guns kill. Guns kill. So just be careful. You got to be careful. Like I say, always treat it if it's loaded, and never point it at anybody. And like the guy told me when I took my CWP, I'll never forget it. He said, if you have to pull your gun, be prepared to shoot. You know, if you have to pull it, you're probably gonna have to shoot. But you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself, especially if you're in your home, if you're a lady, you're out and about. I mean, you need to have one in your purse, have one in your gun. I mean, have one in your car. They got things now where you can fit up underneath your dash. They got some Velcro right underneath the steering wheel. It slides right up underneath the steering wheel. You drive it, if you need it, you can reach in there and just pull it straight out. That's not a bad thing to do, you know. But keep it in your purse. Put it in your purse when you get ready to go inside. And then when you get back in your car, take it out of your purse, put it back in your little slot. Like I said, they got like a holster type thing that fits underneath your dash right there, and you can get right to it. Because you never know when you go up to a teller machine or something like that, they see you're a female or anybody. I actually know a guy that happened to him. They went through the car and hit him in his head and all. So I mean, it's better to be prepared, you know. At least if it's right there, you can get to it. Like most guys, like myself, I'll have it on my side, you know. But they got all kind of holsters and straps and, you know, ankles and things. You can put it, you can hook it and have it anywhere you want it. As far as the laws, I'm not going to tell you what the laws are because I'm really not sure. As far as keeping it in your glove box, if you got it on you, you're good to go. Main thing is if you ever get stopped, when he asks for your driver's license, you show him your CWP card. And he's going to ask you, do you have your weapon on you? And you're going to say, yes, I do. I have it wherever you have it at. But let the man know. You need to let the man know. Because if he happens to seize it and you don't tell him, he's probably going to yank you out of the vehicle. Because he don't know what you're going to do. You didn't tell him. there sits a gun in the floorboard, and you didn't tell him. What's the cop supposed to do? That's how cops get shot. That's how cops shoot people, because people don't tell them. So when you get stopped, tell the cop, here's my CWP. I do have a weapon in the car, sir. And he's going to treat you with respect, and everything's going to be, everything's going to be fine. Use common sense, people. Use your head up here. Um, all right. I hope I went over everything. Tried to go over everything. Like I said, anybody got any questions, leave a comment. If you're just now joining, go back and watch the video from the beginning. You may need a pen and paper, because I went over some just places that you can shop and buy from and look at, some places on the internet. And there's some good deals out there if you just look for them, places you got to bid on. And main thing, and one thing, when you order from a lot of these places, you got to pay shipping. Shipping's kind of high, I can tell you that now, because the government makes them do it. It's got to be insured. So if you say you buy a gun from Bud's Gun Shop, which Bud's has good deals on stuff, you may have to pay $30 shipping. So you need to remember the shipping. But if you're getting it $100 cheaper than anybody else, and you're still saving $70. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's all I got. That's all I got. Anybody got anything? Remember, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, on Google Plus, on Twitter at Doomsday South. And I think that's going to end our video for tonight. It's just so many calibers out here, Don't get frustrated because of all the calibers out here. Like I said, you can't have them all, and you don't want to have them all. Keep them locked up. I had some of mine got stolen several years ago, and trust me, I got everything locked down now. So keep them locked up, keep them out of the way of children, and take a kid hunting. Take a child hunting. Teach them responsibility. Teach them that these guns can do harm. But teach them. Take a kid hunting. Let him shoot a .22 rifle, depending on the age, 10, 12 years old. 243, that kind of thing. Take a kid fishing. Get your kids involved in the outdoors. All right, guys, that's it. I'm out of here. Thanks for coming. And like I said, like and share this video. Appreciate everybody coming out. And leave a comment. Let me know where you're from, what city, state, planet, that kind of thing. And I'm out of here. Thanks y'all for coming, okay? YouTube, and that's going to end it for tonight. And I hope some of this was helpful to you all. I'm no gun expert. Don't pretend to be. Don't claim to be. I just hope somebody can get a little bit of information from this to purchase them a gun if they're interested in one. And it's just so many out there. I wasn't going to bring shotguns and rifles in here. I just kind of went over some of the calibers. And everybody's got their own preference. And all right, guys, with that, I'm going to end it. I appreciate everybody watching. Like the link on my bio, readynetwork.com/Doomsday Preppers of South Carolina. We're on Facebook, and we got some good products on there. And we appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to end it, guys, and thanks for coming, okay? And we really appreciate it. And that's it. We're going to end it at that, Thanks, guys.